What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Swerving Squirrel motovlog. Today's topic, I'm going to talk about things that I don't like about Seattle, or things that I hate about Seattle even, you could say. Hate is a strong word, but some of these things I feel pretty strongly about. First of all, I'll say that I will do a video of things that I really like about Seattle, and it will probably be a much longer video, but I just wanted to make this video today. Actually, it's not too bad right now, but it was raining earlier in the day. It's been kind of overcast and gross all day, and that is the first point of contention that I have with this city, is that the weather, well, it can actually be good and bad. I'll probably mention the weather in my things I like about Seattle video also, but you know, as soon as fall hits, and we're just going into fall now, the weather gets really dingy, and it stays that way for a long ass time, like 6 months to 9 months usually. So I'm actually in the sun right now, which is nice, but you know, it'll be overcast for days at a time. You know, you just don't see the sun. Seattle, of course, has the stereotype of getting a lot of rain, and honestly it's not that bad, because even when it does rain, it's very like light drizzly rain, so you can still go outside and do stuff. Probably wouldn't want to ride my motorbike around, but you know, it doesn't stop you from doing things necessarily. But yeah, it just gets depressing, man, in the winter when you're inside working all day, and then you know, you get off work and it's still freaking dark, which is because the sun is behind clouds. And actually that's another thing I don't really like about Seattle, is because it's so far north, in winter the days are really short. So you know, if I go to work at, let's say, 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning maybe, you know, the sun hasn't come up yet and then I'm leaving for work around 5 and the sun's already gone down. So literally I can go a whole work week without seeing the sun, unless I make an effort to go outside, and if I do go outside it might be overcast. So the winters can be really depressing. That's one thing I don't like around here. The other thing that really kind of grinds my gears in Seattle is the traffic, and you'll probably see what I mean in a minute. It's 4:30, so pretty early in terms of rush hour, and actually freeway doesn't look too bad, but if I left work an hour later, this is why I leave work so early, it's just because of the traffic. If I leave work an hour later, it doubles my commute from 20 minutes to 40 minutes at least. So it's well worth my time leaving work a little bit early and then maybe doing some work at home. But yeah, people just cannot drive here. As soon as you get any congestion, it slows right down. There's not enough roads, honestly. Like, the roads just aren't big enough to handle the amount of traffic. And a lot of that is the geographic kind of shape of Seattle. You know, you have a lot of people living in this very constrained area. You have the lake on one side and the ocean on the other, or the sound I should say. So there's just physically not much room for the city, and you know, the planners can only plan so far ahead, and as a result the roads fucking suck. And it kind of ties into the weather too. Like, surprisingly, as soon as it starts raining, it's like people forget how to drive, even though it supposedly rains here a lot. You know, you're pretty much guaranteed to run into a crash on any given commute if it's a rainy day. It's fucking terrible. I hate it. I really, really hate it. Good thing about the motorbike, of course, is you can go in the high occupancy lanes. So you'll see over here, actually, yeah, again, for some reason today traffic is not bad, but usually it's stopped up all back along here. Luckily I can go into the HOV lanes and kind of bypass everyone, which is really handy. But yeah, traffic and weather, they go hand in hand. Traffic is a bitch. Much worse than other big cities that I've had the opportunity to drive in. People also go like religiously the speed limit, which is quite different to other places. Like, if you drive on the East Coast, you'll be on like a 50-mile-per-hour freeway and everyone's doing 70, you know, no one gives a shit. Yeah, here we go, this is the traffic I'm talking about. So luckily I can just kick back in the HOV lane and say hi, see you later. But yeah, usually when I drive my car on a rainy day, I'd be stuck in this crap, so not fun. The other thing that a lot of people tend to say they dislike about Seattle, and to be honest, I think that this is true of a lot of big cities. It's just that it has a name in Seattle, and so people talk about it. And that is called the Seattle Freeze. And this is where, you know, you meet people and they seem really nice, and you're like, yeah, let's, you know, you're meeting new friends, and you say, let's get together for a drink this week, or hey, what are you doing this Saturday? Like, come do this activity with me. Everyone's like, yeah, I'll do it. Like, sounds good. But then as soon as you try to actually plan something, or like tell someone to show up at a certain time somewhere, they always flake. People are really flaky. It's really hard to break into friend groups. I kind of experienced this when I moved to Seattle, because I was new to the city, obviously. Yeah, it's just people have their own friend groups, they don't really branch out. You know, it's very difficult to break into those cliques. Which makes it a little bit of a lonely city, because, you know, actually this is the other thing, like I have a lot of friends in the city, supposedly, but I just don't see all of them very often, because they're all kind of doing their own thing. So yeah, it can be a pretty lonely city at times, but again, I think that's true of many big cities. Just because, you know, there's so many people that if you run into someone on the street, or like you meet someone on the street, you're never going to see them again, so you don't put in the effort of like getting to know people as well, which is kind of sad in my opinion. Another issue with this city, again, probably true anywhere that you live, is boredom. I just get bored sometimes and I don't know what to do, especially during the winter. I feel like the only fun thing that I can do is go to the mountains and go snowboarding. There's like not much activities that you can do, or once you've done the activity you don't want to do it again because it's just not that interesting. Like, I don't know, all the touristy stuff, let's say. I've been to the Space Needle a couple of times and I would probably never go back again because it's just not that exciting. Same thing with like Pike's Place Market and stuff like that. Like, it's just, I don't know, like you can get into the regular activities, hiking, biking, do sailing, you know. Of course you have all your hobbies, but as a city, I feel like I've done most of what the city has to offer, and that's kind of a sad feeling, so I end up just doing the same hobbies all the time. And finally, the last thing that I don't really like about Seattle is the kind of changing demographic of the city. It's becoming pretty gentrified. I think, well, it's kind of a two-sided coin, because a lot of it is caused by companies like Microsoft and Amazon, these big tech companies up here hiring a lot of people, and so you have an influx of all these well-educated, well-off people into the city, and so there's a lot of construction, there's a lot of like new apartments going up and all that kind of stuff. You know, nice restaurants open up, nice bars, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of good things that come out of a changing demographic like that, but the area that I live in is called Capitol Hill. I mean, it's spelled the same way as Capitol Hill in Washington, but in Washington DC, I should say. But when I first moved there, it was this kind of grungy, grimy place, a real kind of gritty feel to it, you know, and I loved it. It's just like all these unusual types of people. It's just kind of this melting pot for weird ideas and weird shops and real like dark and grungy bars, and I don't know, I just really like that gritty feeling, but it's just losing a lot of its bite lately, because it seems like every month they knock down another block and put up a new apartment building, and that makes me kind of sad, you know. Even in just the 4 years that I've been here, the neighborhood that I live in has changed a lot, and in my opinion, not necessarily for the better. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Nothing revolutionary here, I'm sure. these are the same complaints a lot of people have about Seattle. But yeah, keep an eye out for my things that I like about Seattle video, because there's a lot more that I like about the city than that I don't like about the city. So keep an eye out for that. And man, am I loving the sun. I was honestly expecting it to be even raining when I left work this afternoon, so this is great. Oh, here's some more of that traffic. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!